A cat in Japan once called a pizza place and somehow stayed on hold for 4 minutes. A cat in the UK locked her owner out of the house 3 days in a row, same time, same method, until the owner installed a camera and realized it wasn't an accident. And a cat in Ohio figured out that if she sat on the keyboard at exactly the right moment, her owner's work meeting would end early. These are not coincidences. These are campaigns. Today I'm going to show you cats who didn't just want something, they built entire strategies to get it. And I'm saving the most insane one for the very end, because when you see it, you will never look at your cat the same way again. Most people think their cat acts on impulse. Sees something, wants it, goes for it. Pure instinct, zero strategy. That is not what is happening. Animal behaviorists have spent decades studying feline problem-solving, and what they found fundamentally changes how we understand these animals. Cats don't just react to their environment. They map it. They test it. They remember what worked and what didn't, and they come back with a better approach. There is a cat in these videos who watches her owner set up a tent. She doesn't rush in immediately. She watches. She waits. She lets the tent fully open. And then, with the calm confidence of someone who has already decided how this ends, she walks straight in and claims it. Nobody told her it was her tent. She decided. There is another cat who has figured out the exact moment her owner's attention is lowest, shoe tying. Both hands occupied, eyes down, completely distracted. That is when this cat moves in. Not randomly. Every single time during shoe tying. She identified the vulnerability and scheduled her visits accordingly. There is a cat named George who learned that spinning on command produces a treat. So George spins. Enthusiastically. Repeatedly. With the energy of someone who has discovered a money printer and is absolutely not going to stop using it. These are not accidents. These are plans. And some of them are disturbingly good. Here is something nobody prepares you for when you get a cat. At some point, they will look you directly in the eye and make a demand. Not a request. Not a hint. A demand. And somehow, against all logic, you will comply. There is a cat who called what can only be described as a food order. Found the owner. Made sustained eye contact. Vocalized in a specific pattern that clearly communicated, "I would like to place an order, please." And waited. The owner got up and got the food. Because what else do you do? There is a cat who established that a particular snack belongs exclusively to her. Not negotiable. Not shared. When another animal approached, she didn't panic. She didn't chase. She simply placed one tiny paw over the snack and looked up with an expression that communicated the entire legal framework of her position without a single sound. One paw. Full ownership. Case closed. A researcher named Dr. Karen McComb at the University of Sussex discovered that cats developed a specific vocalization embedded inside a regular purr that triggers the same neurological response in humans as a crying baby. They evolved a sound that hijacks our parental instincts. They didn't stumble into this. They found the button, and they press it, deliberately. Every single time they want something at 3 a.m. Not every cat strategy is subtle. Some cats have looked at subtlety, evaluated it carefully, and decided it is simply not efficient enough. These cats have chosen chaos. Not random chaos, structured chaos. Targeted chaos. Chaos with clear objectives and measurable outcomes. The orange cat who becomes an alarm clock the moment the sofa nap reaches peak comfort. This is not accidental timing. This cat has learned that deep relaxation in a human produces the highest possible reaction when interrupted. The timing is the strategy. The cat who treats every closed door as a personal insult, not because they want what is on the other side, but because the existence of a barrier they did not authorize is philosophically unacceptable to them. The cat on the keyboard, and we need to talk about keyboard cats specifically. Researchers have actually studied this. Cats gravitate to keyboards not randomly, but because keyboards are warm, positioned at the center of human attention, and interacting with them produces an immediate and dramatic response from the human. They are not sitting on your keyboard by accident. They identified your most important object and claimed it. That is not chaos. That is a hostile takeover. Executed perfectly. Every single workday. In between all the negotiation and the chaos and the strategic keyboard occupation, There are moments that stop you completely. A cat who sees his owner tying shoes and comes over. Not to interrupt, not to demand anything, just to help. He doesn't know what shoe tying is. He doesn't understand the mechanics. But he sees his person doing something focused and effortful, and his instinct is, I should be part of this. Let me contribute. A cat running to her owner the moment they come through the door. Not for food, the bowl was full, just running. Just closing the distance as fast as possible because the person was gone, and now the person is back, and that gap needed to end immediately. A cat who learned that 3, 2, 1 means something exciting is about to happen and positions herself perfectly every time because she has memorized the ritual and she wants to be included in it. Inclusion. That is what they want. More than the food, more than the territory, more than the warmest spot on the sofa. They want to be where you are. They want to be part of what you are doing. They invented strategies and negotiations and chaos campaigns, but underneath all of it the motivation is always the same. They just want to be near you. That tiny paw on your keyboard is not a power grab. It is just a very inconvenient love language. Here is where it gets genuinely strange. A woman installed a camera to figure out why her door kept locking from the inside. 3 days in a row, she had come home to find herself locked out. No signs of break-in. Windows intact. She assumed she was forgetting. The camera showed her cat, deliberately, methodically, batting the lock mechanism closed every afternoon at approximately the same time. When she reviewed the footage, she noticed the timing matched exactly with when the mail carrier walked past the door. The cat had decided the mail carrier was a threat, and had taken security measures, without being asked, without any training. There is a cat in these videos who figured out that going under the stove produces maximum owner panic, and therefore maximum attention. She doesn't want to be under the stove. She wants the reaction. She has reverse-engineered human anxiety and is using it as a tool. A cat who discovered that a specific sound at a specific volume causes her owner to end phone calls early. She uses it only during phone calls, never otherwise. These animals are running behavioral experiments on us. We are the subjects. We have always been the subjects. And we didn't even notice until someone installed a camera. I promised you something at the beginning. Here it is. In 2022, a team of researchers in Japan conducted a study where they played recordings of cat owners saying their cat's name in a room where the cat was alone. Then they played recordings of strangers saying the same name. Then they played the owner's voice saying other words. The cats responded differently to every single variation. But the finding that stopped the researchers, the one that made it into headlines worldwide, was this. When the owner's voice said the cat's name from another room, cats didn't just react to the sound. Their ears moved. Their pupils dilated. And then they looked toward the door. Not the speaker. The door. Because they weren't processing audio. They were thinking about their person. They heard your voice, and they thought of you. Right now, somewhere in your home, there is an animal who has memorized the sound of your specific footsteps. Who knows your schedule better than your calendar does. Who has built strategies and campaigns and chaos operations, all of it, just to spend more time in the same room as you. And the next time they sit on your keyboard in the middle of something important, just remember, they heard your voice, and they thought of you, and they just wanted to be close.